Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 4th of April. Afghanistan thanks Australia for providing counter-IED equipment. Perilous health sector in Gilgit Baltistan haunts locals. An army recruitment drive in India's Kashmir attracts youth. And now for all the details. The Pakistani army on Tuesday initiated indiscriminate firing of small arms, automatics and mortars on the Indian army post. It occurred along the line of control of the LOC in northern Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri sector. The Indian side retaliated to the firing. No casualties have been reported so far. This is the third such incident in less than 24 hours along the LOC. On Monday, Pakistani troops had resorted to firing and shelling of mortar bombs on forward post in Rajouri district. Meanwhile, a floral tribute was paid to the Central Reserve Police Force or CRPF soldier who was killed in a militant attack in Panta Chowk area of capital Srinagar on Monday. 6 CRPF personnel and 2 civilians who were also injured in the attack. Meanwhile, poor medical infrastructure and neglect of the authorities has plagued the locals of Gilgit Baltistan. The persistent inaction by the government has the locals worried about the future of their children.
Living in poorly built tents, with little to survive on in the harsh weather, people of Gilgit Baltistan narrate a tale of misery. Unavailability of well-equipped medical centers for basic treatments has left the locals worried about the future of their children. They allege that for minor medical issues, they have to travel to Islamabad.
ये हमारे सियासतदानों को हमारे इक़्तिदार के ऐवानों में बैठने वालों के लिए डूब मरने का मुकाम होगा। पूरे गिलगित बल्तिस्तान 28,000 मुरब्बा मील के इलाके में 20 लाख आवाम के लिए एक कार्डियोलॉजी सेंटर इस वक्त तक आज तक 67 सालों में कायम नहीं किया जा सका है। इससे हम इस बात का सबूत है कि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का में सेहत का मयार जो है वो किस नौइयत का है।
The medical infrastructure has been the same for decades in the illegally occupied territory, as the Pakistan government has not been able to allocate sufficient funding for better healthcare facilities in these areas.
जो हार्ट अटैक्स का जो मामला है वो हफ्ते में 2-4 अफराद एक सिर्फ गिलगित डिस्ट्रिक्ट के अंदर जो है वो लोग में अजल बनते हैं लोग। उसके अलावा जो सेहत के दिगर जो मामलात है गायनी के हवाले से आप देखें तो कोई प्रॉपर तौर पे कोई गायनी का कोई हॉस्पिटल यहाँ पर मौजूद नहीं है। यहाँ पर पिछले दिनों ये छमुगढ़ का इलाका है, यहाँ पर कोई सैकड़ों अफराद 300-400 अफराद 2-3 दिनों के अंदर जो है वो अपेंडिक्स का शिकार रहे। टीबी यहाँ पर इतनी मोजी और मुहल्लिक जो बीमारी है गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के अंदर, इसके ऊपर आज तक कंट्रोल नहीं किया जा सका।
Locals of the region, who are already suffering due to lack of development and human rights issues, claim the crumbling medical sector is compounding their troubles.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, who's on a 3-day visit to Australia, thanked the country for providing counter-improvised explosive device equipment to the war-torn Afghanistan.
Afghan President Ghani met Australian Defence Minister Marise Payne on Tuesday. Australia provided counter-improvised explosive device equipment to Afghanistan. Payne said that his country in 2017 plans to provide 34,000 devices. Australia is supporting the NATO-led force aiding the Afghan government and has 300 defence industry personnel in Kabul. Ghani met Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull in Canberra on Monday, and both the leaders witnessed the signing of development agreement worth $320 million. The agreement has been signed as part of Australia's commitment in the Brussels Conference on Afghanistan. Another agreement on bilateral cooperation in the field of science and technical support were also signed by the Afghan and Australian officials.
Staying on news from Afghanistan, not all have the luxury to afford education. Many struggle for basic infrastructure. Children at a primary school in Kabul are struggling with the same and are forced to sit in dirt every day in their bid to get an education.
Children at Faiz Muhammad Khatib Primary School in Kabul's Dasht-e-Barchi have no school buildings nor facilities, no desk and no chairs, and numbering almost 9,000. The children struggle with the environment every day and are taught in 3 shifts out in the open in all weather conditions. Despite the lack of resources and school buildings, these children eagerly attend classes and take interest in their studies. Teachers and residents in the area have slammed the government over the pathetic condition and have sent at least 20 letters to the Ministry of Education regarding the problem. But till date nothing has been done. They appealed the government to hear their pleas and resolve the problem.
In news from Nepal, Madhesi leaders have rejected Nepal Prime Minister Pushp Kamal Dahal-led government's efforts to convince their participation in the local level elections. They say that seeds of conflict would be sown in the country if the local level elections were enforced.
Madhesi leader Rajendra Mahato on Tuesday said that Nepal was at risk of being pushed into instability due to the rigid stance of major 3 political parties. Madhesi leaders say participation in the local polls only possible after Constitution Amendment Bill is endorsed. Nepal Prime Minister Dahal is making sincere efforts to convince the agitating Madhesis and on Monday met a Madhesi delegation. He assured them about addressing the demands of agitating parties and claimed that the election slated for May 14 will commence successfully in a harmonious environment.
मिल्नुको कुनै विकल्पै छैन के हामी तपाईहरुले सरकारको तर्फबाट लगातार प्रयास भएकै छ। एउटा अप्ठ्यारो के हो भने संविधान संशोधन गर्नुपर्छ। संविधान संशोधन गर्न 2/3 बहुमत चाहिन्छ। 2/3 सरकारसँग छैन।
He appealed the United Democratic Madhesi Front to come along for the election, claiming the extremism will hamper all. The Himalayan nation has been embroiled in political unrest ever since the new constitution was adopted in 2015.
Moving on, devotees in northern India celebrated the 8th day of the Hindu festival of 9 nights on Tuesday. Decorated temples were full of worshippers who came since early morning to offer prayers.
The 8th day of the Hindu festival of Navratri, or the festival of 9 nights, is celebrated as Durga Ashtami, also known as Maha Ashtami. The day is believed to be auspicious and fasting devotees visit temples and seek blessings of goddess Durga.
आज नवरात्र का अष्टम दिवस है और मां भगवती का महागौरी का स्वरूप की आज पूजा की जाती है।
The 9-day festival Navratri, which is one of the significant celebrations in the country, is dedicated to goddess Durga. Devotees worship the 9 forms of goddess Durga during the period of 9 days according to the Hindu calendar. The last day is called as Ram Navami, that marks the birth of Hindu god Lord Ram.
In an army recruitment drive, thousands of youth from India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province turned up. The recruitment was held for various categories.
Over 19,000 youth from northern Jammu and Kashmir province applied for the army recruitment rally held in Baramulla district on Tuesday. About 3,000 youth appeared for the drive that will help provide employment to thousands of youth. The recruitment process was carried out to appoint soldiers, clerks, tradesmen and others. The students who have passed their grade 10th and 12th examinations were eligible to participate. The youngsters were enthusiastic and came with the desire to serve in the Indian Army.
अपनी खुशी से जा रहा हूँ देश की सेवा के लिए इंशाल्लाह मैं देश की सेवा के लिए जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि कहते हैं कि जहाद तो देश की सेवा ही होती है और मैं अपने देश के लिए लड़ना चाहता हूँ ये मेरी चाहत है और रियली सच में यही है
Earlier addressing a public rally in Udhampur district of the province, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had asked the Kashmiri youth to choose tourism and not terrorism to help scale new heights of progress.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Afghanistan thanks Australia for providing counter-IED equipment. Perilous health sector in Gilgit Baltistan haunts locals. An army recruitment drive in India's Kashmir attracts youth. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. Well, that's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.